Stumped by Jason.
Some people say it's even harder to find.
The title of the show might be a song,
there
huh?
must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. All I see
Wow.
is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene.
I got stumped on that one. What the hell was that, Jason? Family Matters. Wow. What was that with that, the kid who claimed he had problems in Hollywood? Was it one of those kids? Wasn't one of the Corey whatever kids, huh? Oh, that's Urkel Family Matters? Yeah, I guess Urkel just slipped right under the radar for me. I was aware of Urkel's presence. How could you not be? The glasses, skinny kid, looks like a turtle without the shell. Pants are way too short, the suspenders. But I don't know if I watched a bunch of Urkel. The last days of that kind of stuff for me, I guess, was, what you talking about, Willis? And then it was off to college. And then this thing called, I think it's pronounced Cabal Television, Cabal, maybe it's some Arab thing. Anyway, all these channels on cable and HBO. What were some of those first HBO shows? Gary Shandling, Dream On. I was like, what is this? Dream On and Gary Shandling. I'm like, this is different than regular network television. Larry Sanders. So I said Gary Shandling show. Yeah, the Larry Sanders show. No, you're right. Larry Sanders. That's good stuff. Oh, boy. Your boy, what was his name? Rip Torn was just fantastic. The, manager of Larry in that show. Anyway, yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Don't act like it's a Monday after a Saints loss, because it's not. There's no red beans and rice available. And if there are, you're not supposed to be eating them on a Friday. I don't know what it is. I don't eat red beans and rice only on Monday. Just doesn't seem right eating them any other day. Now, I guess I used to divulge in some Popeyes red beans back in the day when they were edible, 20 years ago or so. But I mean, what are you talking about? 6, 8, 10 sporkfuls, especially if you 86th the rice. You didn't use much of that red beans and rice. I remember the red beans and rice at Popeyes when I did eat them 20 years ago. That was kind of part of the problem. It became instead of 80, 90% beans and a little clump of rice, it was 50-50. You had to shovel some of the rice out of there before you messed up and stirred them all around. It's like adding salt to a steak before you taste it. It's over with if you add salt and it's too salty. Nothing you can do about it. You stir those red beans and rice, it's too late. You can't take rice out. Hey, it is a fantasy. Same thing with gumbo. Got to be careful with gumbo with the rice. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Excited about that. Excited about that 5 o'clock whistle coming up in exactly 1 hour. 5 o'clock power hour. We're not there quite yet. At least for the general population. Blow that 5 o'clock whistle in an hour. It signifies the work week being in the books and the weekend just beginning, putting the spotlight on that very moment, but we're still an hour away. Got a good 4 o'clock hour. Got 2 good hours lined up for you. It's Fantasy Friday. We kind of chill out on the topics like a shooting up on the bluff in Baton Rouge, the Southern campus, a frat house shooting, 9 injured, 2 a.m. last night. Kappa Alpha Psi, Harding Boulevard near the gates of Southern, up on the bluff. A 2020 U.S. Supreme Court ruling, non-unanimous juries were unconstitutional. Today, the Louisiana Supreme Court says it doesn't mean retroactive, and that affects about 1,500 cases. Normally, we delve deep into that. You're welcome to call and delve deep into that. The news the day. We don't, hey, we're going to talk about it next week. I'm going to listen to a bunch of other shows, check out what Corey had to say and formulate an opinion. I'm not telling you that, but that's how it goes. No, we're producing tomorrow's radio shows today. We're never scared of any topic. We don't care if it happens while we're on the air right now. We'll take calls. We'll have something informative to say from years of experience in doing this. And I'm not a former disc jockey. I'm not a politician. I'll have something that is useful, that you maybe learn something. You can call in. Maybe I learned something. The whole listening audience learned something. I love talk radio. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black. You just look over at him, and he's excited. I mean, it's not like yawning back there or anything. The guy's like, woo, let's go. Mr. Energy, Mr. Excitement, the Man in Black, the heat magnet. No clapping, Jason, no clapping. It's radio. You know better than that. You're I'm guessing like a 25-year, 20-plus year radio veteran. I remember you back in the olden days when we had to crank up the Victrola. Anyway, Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, the Man in Black, fielding your phone calls. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. I'm thinking of that stupid Ron Burgundy, too, where meet Gail Jackson, Linda Jackson, and she's black, and all Ron Burgundy can say is black, black. It's the first time I saw that, just the actress who plays the Linda Jackson, just her facial expression. Oh, boy. So stupid. 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Speaking of stupid, back in my LSU days, speaking of the olden days, late 80s, early 90s, the Jerky Boys were actually doing their little pranks on cassette tapes, kind of spontaneous, ad lib, very raw. Really funny. The CDs were much more refined. Not saying they aren't funny, but much more refined. Anyway, I pulled up on YouTube an old Jerky Boy tape, and I was just laughing at it. Get Brett Weir, I said. Just insane. It's almost like George Costanza in Seinfeld, or Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. You almost like, I got to change it. I can't watch. I know what's coming next, and it's painfully embarrassing. It hurts. I'm going to change it. Anyway, check out some Jerky Boys on YouTube, the original cassette tape. Just silly and dopey and stupid. Hey, a Fantasy Friday, great weather day. And it continues through the weekend. What's this, weekend number 5? We're going on like 35 days of insanely outstanding weather. The greatest stretch of weather I've ever experienced in my 5. I've got to say it this way, like Buddy D used to say it. Decades. My 5+ decades here in New Orleans, in South Louisiana. No, just outrageously nice weather. I said it a few weeks ago. I remember a July, like 25 years ago. I was in like my 20s. It rained every day. It was cloudy. It rained. There was no sunshine. The city was soaked for like 30 days straight. And I was like, man, I never remember just week after week, just rain every single day. It was just a fluke. It was an anomaly. Just total outlier. We're in the middle of that same type of thing, but the flip side, the good side of the record, not rainy and wet, just sunny and clear and nice weather, and get outside and enjoy it. I'm blown away. I've never experienced it. I hope it continues. We could use a little rain for just, crops and lawns and stuff like that, but that's about it. Keep the good weather coming. Hey, every day we broadcast live on the radio, 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, 600 AM. We're on TV, Cox Channel 4 television, Spectrum Channel 333 television. You can find out all of that and a lot more at our website, plus live streaming, CoreyTalks.com, where we are on the radio, where we are on television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Link up to our YouTube channel as well, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe on that bad boy. Every day, all of that's brought to you by, or I should say we broadcast from, the Buddy Diliberto, River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. Kaboom goes the dynamite. What more do you need? Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. They're not going to screw you around. They're not guessing what's wrong and fixing something. Oh, it wasn't that. Fixing something. It wasn't that. They know what they're doing. They fix it right away. Incapable of screwing you around. And they come yesterday. They come immediately. They know you're stressed out. 841-3300. You need AC or heat help? 841-3300. Or check them out online, NOLAAC.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. We broadcast live every day from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Fletcher Mackel is next. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms with high-definition night vision surveillance systems letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, no cool spots. NOLAAC.com, no cool spots.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You got to like that. The weekend's in front of us. And guess what time it is? A little after 4:20 on a Friday. That means our famous or infamous Fridays with Fletch segment. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel, WDSU reporter, anchor, blogger, sports director. He's only been at it for 20 years. The reason we get him on, I'd get him on just like if he was pure journalism, and I mean just doing the reporting and anchoring and the stuff he does. But he also likes to give his take, has an opinion on stuff. And it's not, hey, let me throw something out to stir the pot and cause controversy. He's just, I love sports. I follow sports. This is what I think. And I'm not scared to tell you what I think. And that's why we get Fletcher on. That's about as good as I can do, Fletch. I'm thinking of all kind of demoralizing jokes and lies that I can make up about you now.
Yeah, you're right. I like the nice intros, not the bad ones.
Do you ever laugh at some of the bad ones, or you're like, I hurt my feelings?
But they're okay. I'm big enough to handle it.
Have any of my introductions made you say, I've lost confidence, I'm going to have trouble going on television tonight because of this? Ever?
No.
Damn. Well, we're trying to build you up anyway, Fletch. That's the agreement your mom and I have. That's why I get the check. Build up Fletch, put him on your show. You'll get the check every week. Anyway, how you doing, man? Everything's good?
All is well.
Yeah. Hey, the Saints are 2-5. They lose to the Cards in the desert. I mean, I'm telling you, Fletch, I think this is all self-inflicted. I don't think Andy Dalton's a problem. Corey, he had 2 pick sixes last night. I mean, one hit Callaway in the face. And that was the first one. I'm not trying to justify the other 2 interceptions. The one that was just lagged behind the receiver, cutting across the middle, and the pick six. And it's nauseating. But also, it's all self-inflicted. You were playing one wide receiver. I was playing the other. Then we doubled down and played cornerback. I don't even know these players that are out on the field half the time now. So I'm not trying to make excuses. Kind of the opposite. And I'll hand it over to you. I think the media, the fans, way too optimistic. It was like the year Peyton sat out. Oh, we won't miss a beat. Things will be fine. Now Peyton's gone. It's a new coaching staff. It's lots of new players. You lose your left tackle. You lose a bunch of starters right now because of injury. I know Arizona had their injuries too, but it's a lot to overcome. I'm not saying they should be 2-5, but I'm saying too optimistic in the beginning. Now a little flaky with the fans and the media. I think too negative right now. The next 3 weeks, everything happens over the next 3 weeks. We'll figure out this New Orleans Saints team in the next 3 weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm more negative than positive, and you were one of the people who, I mean, look, you're right. We had a lot of optimistic media members, and I was one of them. And it wasn't just local, it was national. Like, I went back and could find very few national people who didn't think the Saints were going to compete for the NFC South or a wild card berth, that the defense the last 3 years was great. The skill guys coming back like Michael Thomas. And I mean, look, the defense is awful. I mean, the defense going into last week or last night's game was 28th in scoring defense. They're going to fall to 30, 31, or 32. They're going to be one of the worst defenses in giving up points in the NFL. They've turned the ball over the most in the NFL. Their turnover takeaway differential is the worst in the NFL. Offensively, they've been pretty terrible. They've already got 9 interceptions in 7 games. And so, yeah, I think we were all wrong. We saw a team in training camp that we thought was going to be pretty good. That being said, the season's not over. But look, we have flipped up the glass case and thumb on the panic button, because a lot of this talk, this happy talk that the coaches and players, it's still in front of us, we can still pull out of it, you can. But the nosedive is steep. And now we are talking about like the Tom Cruise Top Gun move to pull this sucker out of the nosedive and salvage the season.
I think a little less than the Tom Cruise nosedive. I'm not saying you got to swerve an oncoming vehicle. You're 2-5. But Fletch, look around the league. It's a bunch of mediocre teams right now. And right now, honestly, look at the remaining 10 games. There might be one or two teams that you go, they're clearly better than the Saints. No doubt they win 4 or 5 against the Saints. All the rest, I'm not saying it's a coin toss. I'm just saying the Saints can win a lot of their remaining games. They were pretty close these last few games. It's all self-inflicted stuff. If they wouldn't turn the ball over and hurt themselves, they'd have a much better record. It isn't like the other teams are beating them. The other teams are clearly better. They're not. But you got to fix all that crap. It could continue all year long.
Yeah, and look, and here's the thing. I think the next 2 weeks tell us probably everything we need to know.
Yep, exactly.
At least a lot
2-3
more.
weeks.
Yeah, but look, here's the thing. The next 3 are against AFC teams.
Yep.
Two, I think, are going to be hyper competitive. I think the Raiders have talent, but like the Saints, they're struggling, and we don't know who they are.
They have like one win or something, right? 1 or 2 wins. They're terrible.
Yeah. So, but look, they made the playoffs last year. Derek Carr had a good season last year.
Pittsburgh's struggling. Baltimore's struggling. Saints could go 3-0, and they're 500 all of a sudden.
Well, look, and here's the thing. But Baltimore also has a guy who's a former MVP that people were talking about them for a massive.
And they're 500,
And they've lost some really close, tight games.
Yep.
It was a lot like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati felt a lot better after coming down here. Came down here, had a come from behind win. They look real. Saints don't. That to me, the Raiders and the Ravens, if the Saints lose these games and fall to 2-7, it's over. I don't care what anybody says. It's over. It's done. They're not running the table to go 10-7 and get in.
Yep.
1-1 keeps you where we are now. If you're 3-6, you're like, there's still a chance they can still go on that run. Now you're right. If they go 2-0 over the next 2, because look, they've got the Raiders, the Ravens, and then the Steelers. The Steelers, to me, this is a reset year for them. They're playing a rookie quarterback. This is the year that they're getting back on track after the Big Ben era, so to say. So I think that's a very winnable game. The next 2, though, they better beat the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are a team like them that's struggling, that's trying to save their season and salvage what they can. You get the Raiders at home, you better beat them.
Hey, Fletch, the last time Tulane was in the top 25, were you pitching for Loyola or doing weather in Alexandria?
I was doing weather in Alexandria. It was 98. It was my first full year. I had just started there. I finished, in the late 90s. And so I was in my first year of reporting and doing news and weather in Alexandria before I moved into sports.
Memphis is dangerous. They're 4-3. Easily could come down here and beat Tulane. There's talent on that team. Willie Fritz can't let up off the accelerator. The 6-1 wave, a lot of hype. They can't read into it. They've got to focus on this homecoming game. A lot of people will be at Yeoman. It's an ESPN2 game. Recruiting comes into play. Got to beat Memphis on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, look, without question. And, that's one of the games they have to win to get to the conference championship. I mean, Tulane's being projected right now to go to the Cotton Bowl.
I know. It's awesome. Like against Syracuse. It's great.
Right. It would be great. But you got to win games like this. You're a favorite at home against a solid conference opponent. And I think they will.
Is Cotton Bowl still New Year's? Because Sugar Bowl's on December 31st this year, isn't it? Like in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
In the morning.
I'm not sure what day the Cotton Bowl is this year. This year's got some screwy dates.
Isn't the Sugar Bowl 11 in the morning on December 31st?
It is.
There's something wrong with that. A Sugar Bowl at 11 a.m.? Exactly.
And
that's dirty. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah, what they're celebrating it as is come in on Friday, go to the game, and then go party in New Orleans on New Year's Eve.
No, I'm with you. That is an awesome weekend. There's no doubt. I mean, same concept, basically. Hey, LSU's one back from the wave. They're 26th. Ole Miss is 7th, 7-0. Yet the Tigers are favored. Also a 2:30 kickoff. This one's on CBS tomorrow, nationwide.
Yeah. I am not as bullish on LSU. The odds makers have LSU as a 2-point favorite.
Yep.
People are talking about how, Ole Miss struggled last week against Auburn.
Yep.
LSU really did a good job against the Florida team. I don't know about that. I think LSU, I think Ole Miss is good. I think Lane Kiffin's a really good coach. I think Ole Miss is going to win that game tomorrow.
Kelly's really done a good job. It's about defense, House and the defense of LSU against that offense of Kiffin and Ole Miss. Hey, the Pels playing again tonight. What a great win against the Nets. Just my take, Fletch, real quick. Zion smiling. It was like a dominating performance. They didn't win the third quarter, but they barely lost it. They won every other quarter. They won by 20-something. They dominated from the get-go. It was really never in doubt. Just the smiling faces, just the confidence. It's a fun team to watch. I know it's only one game. They go at it again tonight.
Yeah, no, look, you couldn't have scripted a better start.
Yep.
Those guys hadn't played together ever. That was the first time C.J. McCollum, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram had ever played together.
And they were unfazed that Durant's on the court. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was awesome. The Nets are a good team Durant's one of the 5 best players in the game, one of the 10 greatest in the history of the game.
Yep.
Kyrie's a top 15 player. They just throttled that team. Kyrie Irving said after the game, that's a team that wanted to come in and show they're a title contender, and they did. Again, there's 81 left to go.
Yep.
You couldn't have scripted a better start for the Pelicans.
No, they're at Carolina tonight. Fletch, you have 5 seconds. Christian McCaffrey to the Niners. 5 seconds.
San Francisco is legit, and Kyle Shanahan is an awesome coach. Watch out for the Niners.
5 seconds. Kamara talking to the team. 5 seconds.
I like it. Kamara's a leader on this team. Everybody responds to him. I like it.
Fletch, you're the man. Staying under the time limit.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Weekend number 5 of some absolutely insanely good weather. So nice outside. Hey, in 25 minutes, Trey Yen opens their doors in Mandeville. Why don't you beeline across the lake? Enjoy some of the best Chinese cuisine in America. For over 40 years, Trey Yen in Mandeville. Don't forget their signature Tong Cho sauce. So good. Tonight for dinner. Do it over the weekend. Trey Yen in Mandeville. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Thanks for joining us on the radio, on television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube now. We've hooked up with YouTube the last few months. Check us out there as well. I love bringing this guy on the program every week. I love Fantasy Friday. It pulls me out of the Monday through Thursday. It can get kind of cynical and negative, get dragged into some gloom and doom type talk. I love Fridays. I love getting this guy on, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc., this nonprofit, this basically chamber of commerce, kind of civic-minded group that their job is to make our life better, lure in jobs, economic opportunity, make Metro New Orleans a greater place, help us compete against the places that are doing really well, like the Austin, Nashvilles of the world. Michael Hecht joins us again on the program. What up, Miguel?
What's up, KJ? Yeah, man. This is, I always forget, we talk about April being the great month, but October in New Orleans, man, it's like San Diego, but with culture. It's great.
It is. It really is. I love when Super Bowls are in San Diego, when they used to be, or Tampa. They show the yacht harbor a lot with the sailboats parked, just sitting docked. They show that yacht harbor over and over and over and over again. We never show we go out to Southern Yacht Club and show the yacht club if we wanted. We got the horse and buggy. We got Jackson Square. We got this Natchez. We got the French Quarter. We got the music club. We got the food. I mean, it's just endless. So we have the best in and out of commercial breaks in the United States of America, better than New York.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're actually maybe more diverse than New York in what we can show people, to be honest. You're right.
No, I mean, New York has been steamrolled and just rebuilt and steamrolled and rebuilt. It's all, what's the oldest structure? What's the historic area in Manhattan or you know what I mean? It's
right.
It's, I don't know. It's not, we have so much history and culture and architecture and that melting pot that's similar to New York. I'm not going to say we're that diverse, but for our size, we like you always say, we punch above our weight.
Way above our weight. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Hey, man, this NOLA Coalition, 100 members, 200 members, 300 members, 400 members. Now you're like at 450. It's insane. And it's pretty, people that are concerned citizens that are civic-minded that are in, and a whole lot of businesses that are involved.
Yeah, I mean, what's nice about it, the first thing you see is the number, and the number is much bigger than we expected. We thought we'd get a few dozen, not approaching 500. But then when you actually look at who it is, I used to say it's what you would get at a Saints game, but, I was at a Saints game last weekend, and to be honest, it's even more diverse than you would get at a Saints game. It is, New Orleans East, Lakeview, Uptown, Central City, black, white, Democrat, Republican, rich, poor, people who support the mayor passionately, people who dislike the mayor passionately. It's just everybody all united by a love of our city and fundamentally, really, Corey, a love of our kids. And that's what I think makes it fun and kind of makes it inspiring, is that this is not your usual group. This is kind of the New Orleans civic supergroup, maybe is the way to think about it, right?
Yep. And I don't even think you think about it or the coalition thinks about this, but I do. It yells, hey, politicians, you are forced to listen to us. Forced to listen to us.
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, you can't, one of the oldest games that people play is divide and conquer.
Yep.
And you really can't divide this group. You can't say, oh, it's just the uptown whites, or it's just the New Orleans East people, or it's just the Republicans. It's everybody. And I think that's really, what the difference is, right?
Yep. Michael, at first I was like, I love this group, and I'm not saying anything negative about it, but I always also was like, only in New Orleans. Other places, the business community leads, we elect politicians, and the politicians usually do what the people want, at least a lot of the time. Here it's all about themselves. Had to come up with this NOLA Coalition to tell the politicians what to do. That part sort of made me angry. And then I thought about it even more, and I said, I've often talked about it's not a political party or an ideology, but it's this bipartisanship, these extremes we have that just polarize and fight at each other. And you just mentioned it, point the finger and are negative. What do we all have in common? What's a consensus that we all 110% agree on? What umbrella can we put that under? And the NOLA Coalition might be the trendsetter on that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think that when you talk to people, we're polarized by identity.
Yep.
When you talk to people about specific issues, there's actually
agreement.
Statistically, there is. It's the polarization paradox is what it's called. And it's driven by our two-party system, which encourages a win-lose mentality. And it's exacerbated by social media, obviously. But if you kind of strip that away and just get down to issues like, do I want my kids to be safe? Do I want my family to be able to live here? The vast majority, 90% of people agree.
Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. No, that's the stuff we have to work at. We all know what the extremes don't agree on. Hey, what was Senator Cassidy doing visiting you guys at GNO Inc.? And what's this? Is it the RISE Act?
Well, we call it the RISE Act.
The RISE Act.
R-I-S-E-E, the RISE Act, the RISE Act, like Frise, but it's a great piece of legislation. What it does is a couple of things. One is that it establishes that offshore wind leases will get the same financial treatment and benefit for states as offshore oil and gas. So it makes sure there's no competition between the two, which was always going to be a concern if it was seen that government was favoring one or another. And then the second thing it does, which is kind of hidden in there, so don't tell anybody, but it gets rid of the $375 million annual cap to Louisiana on revenues. And that could mean literally billions of new revenue coming into Louisiana, primarily which will go for coastal restoration. So it's bipartisan. It's a hell of a nice piece of legislation. And I kind of hope it just keeps on going through and everybody can be distracted with this, that, and the other, and we just get it passed because it's very, very good for Louisiana on an economic and environmental basis.
Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans. Michael, we're going to try to get a slightly better cell connection with you right now. Hey, every week, this segment with Michael Hecht brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. They're out in Elmwood with 1,200 plus employees. Their Hammond facility now has a few hundred employees. So that means East Bankers, West Bankers, right across the UEP Long Bridge in Elmwood. They got you covered. North Shore folks, down I-12 in Hammond, they got you covered. Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, born, bred, based right here in New Orleans, looking for you, a culture of innovation, and they're hiring. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. every week. This segment's brought to you by Latrim. Hey, what's the Tulane School of Science and Engineering doing with this $1 million plus grant about capturing this or this process for this clean hydrogen?
Yeah, Corey, you need to read your crib notes better. That was almost an Earl Campbell at the 5-yard line verbal fumble. But I'm gonna pick it up and hand it to you. Let you walk in. We just got this big $75 million grant for green hydrogen, which is a clean feedstock for our industry. Tulane just got another grant, a different grant that's related to the science behind that. It's the science behind what's called electrolyzers. And what electrolyzers do is instead of splitting up natural gas to make hydrogen, which is a traditional way, they split up water and make what's called green hydrogen, which has zero carbon footprint if you use renewable energy to make it. So what's nice is that everybody's getting in on the research and application of wind energy, which powers the electrolyzers, and then the production of this green hydrogen, which according to McKinsey will allow us to power our industrial corridor, but reduce emissions by as much as 70%.
Wow.
So, there's a lot of good stuff going on with Tulane these days. The HCA, conscious decoupling, the revitalization of big charity, the wave is rolling, no doubt.
Hey, what's going on with insurance? You're saying not only locally, but all around the country. Everything's more expensive, including insurance.
We got a mess. I mean, if you look at what's on the horizon, you've got flood insurance going up. You've got homeowners insurance going up. You've got healthcare going up, auto going up, utilities going up, gasoline going up, groceries going up, variable interest rates going up, and then the potential of a stagflation economy with real wages going down. And what basically is happening is that I think that there's kind of a disjoint in the markets right now, and the products that we had are just not set up for the current environment with weather volatility and a tight labor market where people don't want to work. And I just think it's going to be a few years before things settle back. And in the meantime, there's going to be a weird cost of living crisis in the country, but it's going to hurt. It's going to bite the worst in poor locations like Louisiana. And you know me, I'm the optimist guy.
Yep.
But I just would say to everybody, now is a really good time to look at your bills and see what you can, how you can trim 25% out, because it's going to be, in the near term, it's going to be, I think, a little bit tight for a lot of middle class and working class folk.
And I don't know if it ever goes back down. It just may not keep rising as quickly. More with Michael Hecht next.
For 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
The sounds of New Orleans. Corey Johnson back at you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? As New Orleans as it gets, the great after-work wind-down spot. A bunch of characters, New Orleans characters at Katie's. Plus, a great taste in New Orleans, big portions, great for sharing. From pizza to po' boys, a Mid-City mainstay. It's Katie's in Mid-City. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Always a pleasure having you, Michael, having you mic'd up on the program. I'm mic'd up, you're mic'd up, but that's not what mic'd up's all about at Greater New Orleans, Inc. You guys, we always talk about economic engine, trying to make our lives better. We've really dropped the ball when it comes to music and just how we're just such a great music city. Austin, Nashville doing a great job promoting what little they have. You guys are trying to change that.
Yeah, we've got an initiative, Corey, called NOM, the New Orleans Music Economy Initiative, and it aims to not focus so much on live performance, which we do great, but on the business of music, which is everything from the songwriting to the production, to the post-production, to the PR, to the finance and legal. And so what Mic'd Up is an internship program, a paid internship for college students where we're going to place them with local music management companies and have them basically learn the business of music, not what you see on the stage, but everything behind it, because that's really where the money is made. So this is the second year of us running this program, and we're pretty excited about it because we think that even though Nashville might have gotten this past round of music, as we move into the next wave of the music industry and Web3 and blockchain, we think we have a chance working with universities like Loyola and their students to come back and build, a reputation not just for Tipitinas and Jazz Fest, but actually for the people behind the scenes, so that our artists and the people in the industry don't have to go to LA, Nashville, Atlanta, New York to actually make it. So people interested in applying for the Mic'd Up internship can go to the GNO Inc. website, or they can go to nolamusic.biz, which is the GNOME website.
Michael, you remember when you were a child and, the cartoons had like an adult joke and all the adults laughed in the room and you laughed, but you didn't even understand the joke?
It still happens.
Yeah, that still happens with me too all the time. It's happening right now, but it's not a joke, sadly. I'd like to be fired up about the Web3 Technology Street Festival, but I don't know what Web3 technology is, by golly.
Yeah. Well, look, so freshmintfest.xyz is the festival. Web3 is really about the idea of a distributed blockchain. It's basically where everybody is going to share information about transactions, and in that way it actually creates security. It creates multiple levels of security. And this has big implications for artists, for example, because it means that if they have a piece of art or a piece of music, they'll be able to track who downloads it and get effectively what I call mechanical rights on that. This also has to do with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which are the pieces of art. It has to do with Bitcoin, which is money that's tracked in that way. It has to do to some degree with the metaverse, which is this idea of this alternative reality that we can live in. But at the bottom line, it's about this idea of this distributed ledger called the blockchain, which in theory allows for real security because nobody holds a single key. Everybody actually can check on everybody else. In practice, there's still a long way to go, including about how much load it creates on computers in the environment, but it's coming in some form. And so this festival is for people who want to explore it.
I'm sorry, Michael. I don't speak Spanish.
No hable Web3?
Well, I mean, you say, distributed blockchain, after you. Oh, yes, of course. The Web3 technology is about the distributed blockchain and mechanical rights. Yes, I'm right on board with you, Michael. Jeez.
I've actually got a PowerPoint that I did because I had to explain it to myself. I'll send it to you. I probably need your.
You better bring the old school pointer stick and jab me in the ribs with it, because it's going to take a lot of help with that one.
You haven't really progressed beyond kind of the hot crazy matrix level of explaining, right?
Can I use that with a date tonight? Distributed blockchain, baby, the mechanical rights.
You better go back to the hot crazy matrix for your date tonight.
Exactly. Come on, those are all winners right there. Michael, we've got about 2 minutes. Did you like the photos I sent you of those absurdly elevated interstate type structures?
Yeah, where are those from?
I think those are in China, actually.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It looks like I was going to say Singapore, but yeah, China.
I mean, about, what would you say those things are, like 8, 10, 12 stories, maybe 15 stories, 150 feet in the air? My idea, an Avery Alexander Freeway built on the outside of the existing Claiborne I-10. The pillars are, they could be a block apart. It's not like every 20 yards like they are now. And they're, 10, 12, 15 stories in the air. Think high occupancy vehicle lanes under the convention center, or the Peters Road West Bank Expressway. Like when you're on Peters Road, look up at the West Bank Expressway. It's 150 feet in the air. The pillars are 300 yards apart. It's like a bunch of mini bridges, out of sight, out of mind. You can't even hear the traffic. Cut the ribbon on that, and then demolish that 6-lane across thing on the neutral ground and make a nice linear park and recreate the neighborhood. Everyone wins, Michael. Avery Alexander Freeway. We need a transformative project that everyone can be proud of in New Orleans.
Well, look, if there was ever a time to do it, it's now, when our former mayor is in charge of distributing the $1.2 trillion that one could use for these things.
Yeah, so, the 95 mil and removing some ramps and cleaning it up, that's fine, but it really needs to go. But 140,000 vehicles a day pass on it. You can't remove it.
No, you can't. No, you need something like this. I'm thinking that we call it like the Mitchell J. Landrieu Supreme Way, right? And then we do that. Or no, I've got it. The Mayor Mitch Landrieu High Road.
I just think the Avery Alexander Freeway with free spelled in capital letters. Freedom. Avery Alexander, the Reverend. Michael, always a pleasure, brother.
Always, my friend. Listen, enjoy yourself out there, and I'll talk to you Halloween week.
Yep, talk to you next week. That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., always brought to you by Latrim. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm on this Friday, saying 5 o'clock powwow and X, 107.9 FM, 93.9 FM, New Orleans. Don't move.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Yes. Yes. The red Ferrari zipping by. Here's the guy with the mustache trying to sell me a reverse mortgage. What's going on? Okay, ease up, dude. I believe you. I wouldn't try to sell you a reverse mortgage if I didn't believe in it myself. But no, I'm not doing one myself because I'm Tom Selleck. I'm worth millions of dollars. I don't need to do a reverse mortgage. And I'd have to pick one of my houses to do it on. Yes. TC delivered me by helicopter to the studios today. That's right, the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. No Magnum PI, no reverse mortgages. It's a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. I'm so happy, huh? The weekend's in front of us. Another week in the books. Great weather, too. Weekend number 5 of San Diego type weather. It continues. A little warmer than the last few days, but still really nice. Sunny and nice through the weekend. We could use a little rain, there's no doubt. I don't think we're seeing it until early next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. Anyway, enjoy the great weather while you got it. Drop the coals, boil some seafood, get outside, hit the fishing hole, the hunting camp, do some landscaping, walk the dog, tennis, golf. Get outside already. It's really nice. Sit on the stoop, sit on the porch. So nice. Great weather continuing through the weekend. Yeah, you right. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It is the 5 o'clock power hour. That means a little bit after 5 p.m. on a Friday. That means for most folks, 100% of the work week in the books. For most folks, 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of you. We like putting the spotlight on this very time of the week, this little limbo period. Smelling the roses. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. That's right. Get out of the plant. Get out of the factory. One arm, you got the lunch pail. The other arm, you got the hard hat. That's what the 5 o'clock whistle's about. Get out of there. Yeah, you right. A little after 5 o'clock on a Friday. 5 o'clock whistle appropriately brought to you by Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. It's not a sale and it's not on select items. It's on everything all the time. I'm talking about the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. No one else has lower prices. It's illegal. I'm not kidding. The state has a minimum. They want to get tax money on this wine, alcohol, and cold beer, so they make sure that you are, charging a minimum amount. You can't give it away, can't sell it for under cost. But Super Discount Store sells it for the lowest price allowed by Louisiana law all the time on everything. And they've got what you drink. I know some of you folks like, there's no way Super Discount Store in Chalmette has that $80 bottle of wine I drink, and I'm buying it by the case. You do 8 by 12. You tell me how much that is. That's $1,000 a case. Super Discount Store doesn't have that wine. No, they do. They do have that wine, and you should get out of Uptown or wherever you are and beeline down to the Parish Chalmette and pick up your $1,000 case of wine for hundreds of dollars less at Super Discount Store. Literally hundreds of dollars less. Pappy Van Winkle, expensive whiskey, whatever you want. If they don't have it, they'll get it for the lowest price allowed by Louisiana law. You folks that are buying wine all the time, buying cases of booze all the time, it's a no-brainer. Super discount store in Chalmette.
Super discount store.
Correct, Amundo. Toot, toot, super discount store, 5 o'clock whistle. Brought to you by Super D on this Fantasy Friday. A lot going on. If you missed the last hour, you missed a lot. Fletcher Mackel joined us. Saints fan, keeps your shirts on. I mean, just the extremes. My God, too optimistic, media and fans, too optimistic to start the season. Winning season, playoffs, just rocking and rolling, not missing a beat. 500 ball club last year under Sean Payton. A 500 ball club. Wasn't like dramatic changes to the team, a bunch of new players that are obvious improvements. You lose your left tackle, arguably the number one position after quarterback on the team, arguably. You bring a bunch of newcomers on both sides of the football. Quarterback's a question mark. Brand new head coach. His system, you can say, man, it's just him continuing Peyton's system. It's Dennis Allen's team now. And then you've got Mickey Loomis probably playing more of a role because his rear end's on the line now with Sean Payton. Sean Payton, the buck stopped with Peyton on everything. It's like Nick Saban at LSU. Once he started winning, the buck stops with me. I'm in full control. LSU said, sure, here's the keys. Saints said, sure, here's the keys, including Mickey Loomis. Now it's a little different. So it's a whole different dynamic. For the optimism to be where it was unrealistic. The local media, I mean, I made fun of folks. 25 members of the media polled. What are the Saints going to do? Every one of them, 10-plus wins, winning record, playoffs. It was insane. Someone's got to have them as a losing record. Someone's got to have them around 500. Ed Daniels had them 9-8. That's it. Every other media member, 10-plus wins, double-digit wins, playoff team. It's just insane. That's not fair. That's not objective. You know, I said it today on a little Twitter thing. The media's got 3 things they worry about. The team, not appeasing the team, appeasing the fans, and then reporting on the team third. So way too optimistic in the beginning. Fans way too optimistic in the beginning. Now it's a 180. The media and the fans, way too pessimistic. I know the team's 2-5. I saw the game. I saw the pick sixes. I saw it. Andy Dalton's not the problem. Andy Dalton throwing to you and me at wide receiver, you and me playing cornerback, lots of injuries. Every team's got him. I get it. I'm just telling you how it is. Brand new team, brand new coaching staff. Takes time for new players to mesh. Just to assume they're going to not miss a beat. This happened before when Sean Payton sat out that year with Bountygate. I won't miss a beat. Drew Brees still there. Just Sean Payton's system won't miss a beat. Like Sean Payton doesn't mean anything is what you're saying. Sean Payton's gone. New coach. It's going to take time for him to gel. Right now at 2-5, the next 3 games, all against AFC foes, all winnable games. Saints could win the next 3. They're 5-5. You look at the rest of the schedule, there's no team maybe a team or two that you go, they're better than the Saints 4 out of 5 times. Otherwise, the Saints can beat any of these teams and lose to any of these teams. But so far, the Saints aren't getting beat by better teams. The Saints are beating themselves. Turnovers and just self-inflicted wounds. And Andy Dalton's not the problem. He threw 4 touchdowns last night, too. No, Saints fans are very emotional. Way too high before the season. Great team, playoffs. They could go with the Super Bowl. And now just they suck, and it's a disaster. Fire Dennis Allen. I mean, and the media too. Way too flaky. Way too high. Way too low. Chill out. Fletcher Mackel joined us last hour to discuss that. Michael Hecht joined us as well from Greater New Orleans, talking about a slew of topics. Coming up in about 6 minutes, Frank Brigtsen. He'll be joining us in the nice weather outside his restaurant, Brigtsen's, in the Riverbend section, Carrollton neighborhood, uptown New Orleans. Frank Brigtsen in a few minutes talking a little food. Hey, tonight at 6 o'clock, the Pels 1-0 in Charlotte, taking on the Hornets. Sunday, the home opener, Sunday night, Utah in town. That's sold out. No, I love watching the Pels the other night. Zion smiling, just a casual attitude. It's like Durant's on the other team. And they beat the Nets at New Jersey. in Brooklyn, no problem. Handled them from the get-go. There was no, let down in a team having a 40-18 quarter and coming back. Pels ran away from it, 20-plus point win. Again, tonight, 6 o'clock, tipping off in about 45 minutes from Charlotte. Tomorrow, 25th ranked Tulane, homecoming, Yeoman, 4-3 Memphis, 6-1 Wave, 2:30 kickoff, ESPN2 from Uptown New Orleans. That's so cool. ESPN2 from Uptown New Orleans. Yeah, you right. Also tomorrow afternoon, also at 2:30. One spot back, the 26th ranked team in the land, LSU, Tiger Stadium, number 7 Ole Miss, 7-0. Tigers 5-2. They're favored by 1.5 or 2. That'll be on CBS. Yeah, you right. Frank Brigtsen joins us next. Fury's Restaurant open till 9 p.m. tonight. Start with onion rings, gumbo, or turtle soup. Then maybe speckled trout, flounder, snapper. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie is open till 9 p.m. tonight. Did you hear me? Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, open till 9 p.m. tonight.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris
The
Road.
lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro. For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Boy, with this weather and the weekend we're going to have, weather-wise, get to Helm Paint and Decorating tomorrow. Pick up all your supplies or have them deliver them to you. You can picture your Benjamin Moore colors online. Call any of the 7 Helm Paint and Decorating locations. Within 2 hours, they'll have all your supplies, paint, everything you need to get the job done right. For over half a century, 50-plus years, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, you go to Helm. Do it once, do it right. Let them steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Absolutely gorgeous weather. 5th straight weekend of fabulous weather. It continues. It's mind-boggling. Hey, let's go to the Riverbend section of the Carrollton neighborhood in uptown New Orleans. A lot of action going on in that area. Lots of construction and new businesses, good pulse, good vibe. He's at his restaurant for over 35 years. Brigtsen's in Uptown. Frank Brigtsen joins us on the program. What's happening, Frank?
Where you at, Corey Johnson, TGIF?
What a nice day, huh?
Oh, could not be better. Really perfect. I love it.
Marna's going to hit me with that pinwheel. I wish there was outdoor dining at Brigtsen's.
Well, you can eat outdoors, but we don't have any tables or chairs.
Yep, but you do have to-go orders.
We do.
You could pick up a to-go order, walk to the levee and enjoy it, or I don't know. I pick up a to-go order, and I got to admit, Frank, a barbecue shrimp or two go in my mouth before I get home.
I don't blame you.
I'm popping that container open. I'm driving carefully, or I'm even pulling over, but can't help myself.
It smells so good. That barbecue shrimp dish, are you kidding?
Wow. Maybe the best example of barbecue shrimp anywhere. How's it going, man? It is shrimp season right now, isn't it?
Yeah, we're doing great. The shrimp are really enormous and beautiful. We're feeling a lot of shrimp.
What are you doing with all those shrimp?
Well, we have our barbecue shrimp. That gets 5 jumbo shrimp on it, and they run about 10 of the pound. So that's about a half a pound of shrimp almost.
Yep.
And shrimp remoulade, one of our most popular appetizers, and butternut shrimp bisque. So, you know, if you like shrimp, you're coming to the right place. I tell you that.
Well, the barbecue shrimp, let's start with that, a half pound of shrimp. That's a lot of shrimp, but the sauce is so light. It's easy.
Oh, yeah.
That sauce is so rich and good.
Thank you. And honestly, you know, if you think about it in terms of French cuisine and sautés and beurre blancs and that kind of cooking, this is a very unorthodox sauce, although it is the same technique as a beurre blanc in a way, because the thing we do differently is we cook on very high heat. So this skillet is preheated, smoking hot, and we add butter, black pepper, fresh rosemary, and the shrimp. And when you do that, the shrimp immediately begin to cook. There's flames, there's smoke. You got to keep it moving. And as soon as the shrimp turn pink on the outside, which is less than a minute,
wow,
we quickly add garlic and seasoning. Cook that a couple of seconds, and then hit it with some Leon parents and let that reduce to a glaze, and then a little bit of a beet of beer to deglaze it. And at that point, you can kind of catch your breath. Let the beer simmer down, and deglaze the pan, and then we build the sauce up with shrimp stock, and it's finished with, guess what, more butter.
Yeah.
And you shake it till you get this creamy texture. It's not oily. It's rich, but it's not an oily butter sauce. So it's emulsified with that shrimp stock.
I was about to say Brigtsen's, mascot could be a stick of butter, but that would just not. It'd have to be a stick of butter holding hands with like a big seasoning thing, like some of your Mojo seasoning holding the stick of butter's hand.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Two mascots.
Today I made some pimento cheese, believe it or not. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But some of my staff members hadn't tasted my recipe, and then they tasted it and they remarked how good it was. And I said, what makes it good is the seasoning. I preach that all the time, well-seasoned food and you're halfway to good flavor.
Yep.
And my pimento cheese, it's like salt and cayenne and granulated onion and garlic. But like everything I make, it's seasoned up to the point where it should be. And that makes all the difference, you know?
Yep.
We, speaking of takeout, we added a new department to our takeout menu today, Corey. We call it the grab and go takeout menu. And so these are items that are pre-made. We make them for you, and then you take them home and heat them up. So this is like, it can be like good tailgating food or just weekend on the couch food. You don't want to cook. So we started with 2 dishes today. And these are served in quarter pans, those little foil
Now,
pans.
are these just the side dishes and desserts and appetizers or entrees included?
Well, here's what we're starting with. Number one is Chef Frank's beefaroni. So you remember beefaroni. So this is seasoned ground beef and marinara sauce and elbow macaroni all tossed together and put in the pan and topped with shredded cheddar cheese.
So like a bolognese lasagna type thing?
Yeah, exactly. So you have a little casserole, and it's plenty enough to feed 2 people as a main course, or it could be 4 people as a snack. And then the second, and this is something we make a staff meal a lot.
How do you make the marinara, Frank?
Well, it's what you would expect. It's onions, garlic, parsley, pureed canned tomatoes, pomodoro, and fresh herb, dry herb, simmered a little bit. Classic.
Almost the Godfather recipe.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost like in the Godfather movie.
I shaved the garlic with a razor blade.
Yeah, exactly.
like Paulie did.
Yeah, and in Goodfellas, exactly. You got time in the clink. I guess you got time to shave the garlic. It was a great method. It melted like butter. All right, anyway.
Yeah, so that's one. And then the other one is warm red bean and pimento cheese dip. And so this is a recipe I developed for Blue Runner a few years ago. And this is layered dip. On the bottom is Blue Runner red beans that I season up with some salsa and a little lime and seasoning. And then on the top of that is my pimento cheese, which is half cheddar, half pepper jack cheese, pimentos, green onions, and seasoning. And so this is served warm, not hot. So you warm it for 20 minutes at 350. The beans warm up and the pimento cheese just softens up where it's kind of melty but not oily and hot.
Right.
And you eat this with tortilla chips, and it's delicious. My staff just gobbled up a pan of it for a sample.
And this is available.
It's cold. It's, you take it home, put it in your fridge, eat it whenever you want it.
Yep. And this is available in pan size to go?
Yeah, these are all quarter-size pans.
Wow.
Like those half-size foil pans you use for turkey. This is like half that size.
Yep, gotcha. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What else, Frank?
I just had my dinner. For dinner, I had a white chocolate and cherry vanilla cheesecake.
Are you going backwards? You're going backwards? That's the dessert part.
This is a new dessert from Chef Samantha, and it's a white chocolate cheesecake, and it's garnished with, we take dried cherries and simmer them in a vanilla bean simple syrup. And she plated one up for me, and I was going to take a photo and take one bite, and I wound up eating the whole damn thing.
I bet.
It was awesome. So that's available this weekend and probably next week as well, because it's so good. It's beautiful and it's delicious. And so we're going to roll with that probably next week as well. These takeout items, the grab and go stuff, that'll be on the menu for a while. We'll see if it sells. I hope it does. And we're going to build out that portion of our takeout menu as well. Things you can just take home and eat them when you're ready.
Thanksgiving's like, what, 4 weeks from Thursday?
That's right.
What you're going to have all, basically, you let the people handle the bird or whatever protein. It could be turkey or something else. And then you've got all the sides, the appetizers, the desserts, right?
Yeah, we do what I call soups, sides, and pies. So we have a Thanksgiving takeout. We'll have quarts of butternut shrimp bisque or filet gumbo with chicken andouille. And then for sides, we have our mashed potatoes, cornbread dressing, sweet potato dirty rice, which is dirty rice with diced candied sweet potato folded in. Absolutely delicious. And then our pies, our pecan pie. This time of year, we also offer a sweet potato pecan pie. It's our pecan pie with pureed baked sweet potatoes on the bottom, and then pints of caramel sauce to go with it. So we're just finalizing our plans for that. This should be ready to go next week. It'll be posted on our website and our social media. And you can call in and place your order for the next few weeks. And pickup day will be Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the day before.
Hey, that phone number at Brigtsen's is 861-7610. 861-7610. The website's brigtsens.com. BRIGTSENS, brightsens.com. Hey, Frank, any openings tonight or tomorrow night?
We are booked for the weekend, Corey. It's Tulane homecoming weekend. So all of our Green Wave friends are here. A lot of alumni are in town. They've booked these tables weeks ago, and we're ready for a big, big weekend.
Friday night, Brigtsen sold out. Saturday night, Brigtsen sold out. Sunday night, Pelicans at the Smoothie King Center sold out.
Nice. I love it.
That's a good trifecta right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz in the Pels right now. That's great. But give us a call for next week. We do have room.
Yep.
And if you've got family coming in for the Thanksgiving holidays, talk it over with them and book your tables now. I know New Orleanians that live out of town now, what they're craving is local Louisiana seafood. So you can come get that either before Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving weekend. Come get some trout meuniere and blackened tuna and shrimp remoulade and all that good stuff.
861-7610. Book that reservation right now for next weekend. 861-7610. That's Brigtsen's. Frank, always a pleasure, brother.
All right, buddy. Have a great weekend. Go Green Wave.
Yeah, you got to like that. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Frank.
All right, Corey, take care.
Right down the street from Brigtsen's Restaurant, Yeoman Stadium in Uptown. The Deuce will be there tomorrow. ESPN2, nationwide television audience. This was going to be on ESPNU. That's where Tulane or Memphis folks go to that station. Then they upgraded it because Tulane slipped into the AP and coaches top 25. First time in 25 years. Had Fletcher Mackel on in the 4 o'clock hours. Like, Fletch, were you pitching for Loyola or doing weather in Alexandria? And he laughed. Weather in Alexandria, first year, just graduated. First time in 25 years, the Green Waves in the top 25 at number 25. They take on 4-3 Memphis. The Waves 6-1. 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Head on down there. The weather's going to be phenomenal tomorrow. Gorgeous sunshine, high 70s. Memphis is a solid team. There should be 20,000 plus. You're like, Corey, Tiger Stadium is 102,000. Yeah, I hear you. That's the outlier. You go to Tulane with 20,000 fans outside, the color, the pageantry, the college football teams. It's a college football environment. I'm not trying to sell you on the wave. I've been when it's 20,000, not 30. It holds about 30. There could be that kind of crowd tomorrow. Some people are going to beeline down I-55 from Memphis. They're in the car right now listening to this show coming down I-55. That guy's talking about us. Did you bring some of that barbecue, interstate barbecue? Pretty good stuff. I liked Neely's on the corner of Orleans and Jefferson. How can you forget that? By the hospital, kind of in midtown Memphis. But that closed about a decade ago. I think the Neely relatives are interstate, south of town. Bring me some of that good barbecues, brah. New Orleans was void of barbecue, huh? Just a few short years ago, a decade ago, it was like the joint. That was it. And, like Luther's and stuff like that. Now we've got a bunch of pretty decent barbecue. Fry's pretty good on Carrollton by Bienville. Blue Oak down the street on Carrollton. It's got Central City on Calliope over there. South Rampart by the St. John the Baptist Church, the church with the golden steeple. The Gent, still there over in Bywater near Poland, about 2 blocks from Jack Dempsey's. No, we used to be totally void of that. Another thing that we're pretty damn good at, two things that people don't think about, but we're a great pizza city. Great, not good, great. There's 20 good places that have pizza, like 20, and some are excellent. And we're a great steakhouse city. I think only Las Vegas per capita has more prime steakhouses than New Orleans. That includes like Chicago and New York. Per capita, we've got a bunch, 15, 20 prime steakhouses. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday. Yeah, Frank Brigtsen joining us. Michael Hecht last hour. Fletcher Mackel last hour. Tonight at 6 o'clock or in about 25 minutes, your New Orleans Pelicans tip off regular season game number 2, again on the road. They took care of the Nets from the get-go in Brooklyn the other night. Tonight they're in Charlotte. Sunday night, the home opener at the Smoothie King Center against the Jazz. Like I said earlier with Frank Brigtsen, sold out. Yeah, the Saints are now 2-5. They lose to the Cards in the desert. Again, self-inflicted. 10 games to go. You go 7-3 the rest of the way. You're 9-8. You equal last year's record if you go 7-3, basically winning 2 out of 3 games the rest of the way. You go 8-2 with 10 to go. You get to just 10-7. That's what happens when you get in a 2-5 hole. Hopefully Atlanta and Tampa Bay lose. You're still just, one back of the lead. No, the next 3 games are vital. It's against AFC foes. It's what's up next? You got Baltimore, you got Pittsburgh, you got who's the next opponent of the Saints? All AFC foes, all winnable games. Baltimore's got the best record. Like the Raiders are next. They got 1 win. Then I think it's Baltimore. They're 3-3. Then it's Pittsburgh. They have 2 wins, 2-4. The Saints could beat all those teams, and the Saints could lose to all those teams. The Saints aren't getting beat by better football teams. The Saints are getting beat because of self-inflicted wounds. The other teams aren't taking the ball away, forcing turnovers, great interception. What a great defensive play. I mean, Andy Dalton, the 1 pick 6 right through Callaway's hand, bounces off his face mask, hits him in the face. Pick 6. Another one was legit. Another interception was legit. He also threw 4 touchdowns. Dalton's not the problem. New coach. 6 injured starters that are key starters, including both wide receivers, both cornerbacks. How do you overcome that? You can't. Kamara just getting healthy. I'm not making excuses, but this team, if totally healthy, new coaching staff, new QB, all of this, takes a little while to get things going, to gel, to mesh. They're a 500 club last year under Sean Payton. Don't forget that. They were 9-8, barely 500 under the late, great Sean Payton, no longer with the Saints. I love Sean Payton. Wish he was still here. But underachieved. And left the Saints in a lurch. Never developed a quarterback. There aren't Sean Payton QBs scattered around the NFL like you would think. Man, he really developed Drew Brees. Drew Brees was pretty damn developed in San Diego. He took Drew Brees to another level. Brees took Payton to another level. All Sean Payton's done, and I'm not saying it all like it's nothing, he's won with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Sean Payton won like coaches won with Elway or Marino or Montana or Brady. Can you do it without it? And last year without it, Sean Payton was 9-8. Without Drew Brees, he's 9-8. And then he abandons the team and quits and leaves. I think worse than Jim Mora. Jim Mora saw he wasn't getting it done anymore. The message was ineffective. Sean Payton just abruptly left. Some personal issues, whatever. I don't care. But a little overrated. Left the Saints kind of in a lurch. No QB. A 500 ball club. Nice convenient time to leave, coach. No Drew Brees. You take off. Now, I wanted to see Sean Payton post Drew Brees for a few years. Didn't you? The fierce competitor. Can he develop a QB? Let's see what you do. No, cut and ran. Whatever. So a lot of things to overcome. Media and fans way too optimistic for the beginning of the season. And now the opposite. Running away from the team, abandoning the team, gloom and doom. What was the article today in the paper about, season could be as bad as 1980? It's like, come on. Let's just chill out for a minute. Give this coach, Dalton, this team, a little time to mesh. Next 3 games, the whole season's figured out over the next few ball games, next 2 or 3 games. Saints go 3-0 and could against these teams if they don't keep shooting themselves in the foot, which is a lot to overcome. They're 500. So let's wait and see. Next 3 games, figure out everything. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Young's Dry Cleaning's been with you since 1940, 80 plus years. If you like your dry cleaner, stick with them. If you want to experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. That's youngsdrycleaning.com.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our Top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms with high-definition night vision surveillance systems letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Great weather Friday night. Why don't you do some outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe? Enjoy this great weather and enjoy some shish kebab. Outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe, under the green awning, under the oak trees, on the streetcar line, where Carrollton Avenue is one lane. In between Claiborne's and the Riverbend, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Outdoor dining tonight, right now. Lebanon's Cafe, open till 9:30. That's a no-brainer. So nice. Outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you're right. Great weather continues. 5th great weather weekend in a row. Get outside and enjoy it. So nice. A shooting up on the bluff in Baton Rouge late last night, early this morning, however you want to look at it. The Southern Campus, right outside the fraternity house shooting, 9 injured, 2 a.m. outside of the Kappa Alpha Psi, right there in Harding Boulevard, right by the gates to Southern. up in Baton Rouge, like I said, up on the bluff. A 2020 U.S. Supreme Court ruling, non-unanimous juries are unconstitutional. Today, the Louisiana Supreme Court says it doesn't mean retroactive, though. So essentially about 1,500 cases are grandfathered in, as it were, non-unanimous. The conviction stays. Hopefully they'll review those, and some that are just obvious, blatant, do something about. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of appeals on all of that, including one, generally speaking, to the U.S. Supreme Court, if it's retroactive or not. Hey, coming up in about 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes, the Pels are in Charlotte taking on Michael Jordan's team. The 1-0 Pels tip off in about 12 minutes. Pels favored by 6.5. A really great win on the road against Brooklyn. The NBA is the toughest place to win on the road. You got 30 NBA teams. You'll probably have, seriously, by the end of the year, you might hit double-digit teams that have a winning road record. Maybe. Some years you have like 8 or 9. The most you're going to have is like 10 or 11. 10 or 11. You might have 12 with like a 500 club on the road. Something like that, or close to 500, 1 over 500. It's just winning on the road in the NBA. I don't know why. It's just the toughest thing to do. And it's the toughest road wins in sports. Harder to win on the road in the NBA than on the road in Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, NFL, whatever. Pels just dismantled Brooklyn from the get-go. I mean, they've got all-stars on that team. Durant, and they're playing just loose and smiling and confident. And it's, Zion's on the court. Kind of I don't want to say a new team, but a little. Lots of depth, lots of backups. Just impressive. I'll be checking that out tonight in just a few minutes. Sunday's home opener against the Utah Jazz at the Smoothie King Center. Sold out. Yeah, you right. Tomorrow, 2:30, number 25, Tulane's in action. Number 26, LSU in action. Both at 2:30, both at home, both on TV, nationwide television audience. Number 25, Tulane versus 4-3 Memphis. Wave 6-1, 2:30, ESPN2 from uptown New Orleans in Yeoman. 26th ranked LSU, Tiger Stadium, 2:30, 7-0 Ole Miss, 7th ranked. That'll be on CBS. Tigers are 5-2. Saints lose. Saints fans, ladies, keep your shirts on. All right, ladies, take your shirts off. But Saints fan, keep your shirts on. Too optimistic before the season started. Now too cynical and jaded. The next 3 games really say it all. The Saints have not been beaten. Boy, that's a better team than the Saints. All these teams the Saints have lost to, the Saints are as good, if not better. They're not worse. Those teams aren't clearly better. All the Saints' losses are self-inflicted. Lead the league in turnovers, lead the league in turnover ratio. It's not good. You're not going to win when you do that. Correct those kind of self-inflicted problems, and the Saints can win. Next 3 games are key. Let's talk about the panic button in about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not saying 2-5 is good, but my God, from, playoff team, double-digit wins to fire Allen, and this team's terrible. I mean, I will tell you one thing I've been saying all along. Sean Payton left the team in a lurch, just left quickly. No idea was going to happen. No quarterback on the roster. Didn't develop any quarterback his entire time with the Saints. The league's not scattered with Sean Payton, Drew Brees backups that were developed in New Orleans. None. You can't even say he developed Brees, just took Brees up to a new level. No, Payton's going to go somewhere where there's already a starting top 5, top 8 NFL quarterback, or he ain't coming back. The money's guaranteed. It ain't about the money. It's about having a starting quarterback. Payton knows. That's why he left New Orleans. Part of the reason. The real reason, I think, is totally personal. Personal reason. Something personal. Not professional, not Saints, not New Orleans. Something personal that made him quickly get up and go. Hey, every day this program on radio, television, the internet device, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. On the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kennebra, right on the corner, right on the price. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Harahan, Jefferson Highway. That's right, the big store, Lamarck Ford, nearly 50 years in Kennebra, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. That's about 75, 80 years over by the river, bridging the gap. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Fausto's Italian Bistro's open till 10 o'clock. I know I talk a lot of food and restaurants on this program. Only the good ones. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. I know some of you, I make a better steak. My mama makes better red sauce. Head to Rouse's. Get all the stuff there. Over 60 Rouse's, over 20 in Metro New Orleans. Probably one on your way home, or two, or even three. Rouse's Markets, best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets. Yeah, Saints fans, relax a little bit. 2-5 is terrible. Those pick sixes were tough. Andy Dalton's not the problem. This is a new team with new players, new coaches. Sean Payton's gone. It's going to take a little while to mesh. And I'm not happy they're 2-5 and they shouldn't be, but that's where they are. The next 3 games, Saints are, 2-6, 2-7, 3-7, something like that. Yeah, it's over. Panic button. But the next 3 games are key. And I'm not just saying that because they can get to 500, so they can win against the 1-win Raiders, the 2-win Steelers, the 3-win Ravens even. No team that's just clearly better than the Saints. So keep your shirts on, get your panties out of the wad and all that. Have a great weekend, another great weather weekend. Get outside, enjoy it. I'll see you Monday. Thanks to Jason. Thanks for you for listening and watching. 93.9 FM New Orleans.